Okay, so last time we ended off over here in with the vehadar Mishna Berura commentary, and we're learning about very important halachas that are pertaining to Shabbos. In particular, we were discussing that a person should buy and consume a lot of meat, wine, and tasty food on Shabbos, such as fruit and sweet items. So we left off learning about that, which is a very fascinating topic. The Seder Hayom yet again is quoted, and he writes that we need to enjoy Shabbos from a Oneg Shabbos perspective. For us, from a physical perspective, actually enjoy the food, us and our family, with poor people though, that are close to us. That's going to be a key with the poor people. Ki ein tov adam sheochel v'yishta ve'achiv b'nei Yisrael haniyam ve'avyonim mutalin b'rav u'b'choyser kol. Because it is not good, it would be inappropriate for a person to be feasting, eating and drinking, and meanwhile his brothers who are poor are starving and they are lacking. That would not be considered a straight way and a way of merciful people and people who are involved with acts of kindness, like the children of the offspring of Avram Avinu. Rather, a person should have the Oneg Shabbos and make sure that the poor people are taken care of as well. There's a well-known Rambam who also discusses this point that if a person is just feasting on Yontif, and meanwhile there are poor people who need help, and he's not taking care of them, that's not an Oneg Yontif, that's an Oneg on the Guf, and that's not good. And the Rambam goes into it also.
What? Say that again. What if there's poor people where?
If there's poor people who need food, and this fella knows about it, and he's spending a lot of money on a very extravagant and lavish and luxurious meal, Suda for Lakava Shabbos Yontif, and meanwhile you got poor people who could barely afford 2 slices of bread, you got issues there.
I mean, his neighbors or people he knows about or knows
he
of?
He knows people. They came
He
down
knows
to the door. Someone contacted him. He knows, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't argue that point.
No, it's obviously known that there's a name out there, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Ayin Dalid, look later on in Siman Reish Sadi, Sif Aleph, which we already did. Those are the halachas of Shalosh Shudas. Shekasav Sham HaShulchan Aruch Sheish LaHarbos Bepeiros U'Magadu Mini Besamim Kedei LaHarbois Bebrachos LaHashkim Leminyan Meya Brachos Shesadach Lavarach Bekol Yoim U'Bashabis Nechser Mehem Lefi She'ein Mispalim Ella Sheva Brachos Betfilos Shmoyne Esrei. Discuss over there that on Shabbos to make brachas on food in order to have more brachas, meaning in addition to the Suda. To have more food over there. So why? In order to get the 100 brachas, because we're lacking over there. So that's the idea over here. That's the idea over here. So you want to get more brachas. Shabbos, you're lacking brachas because during Shemona Esrei, during the week, the 3 Shemona Esreis, it's close to already 60 brachas. On Shabbos, the Shemona Esreis are much less, so we're down a lot of brachas.
How many brachas are we down on Shabbos? How many brachas do we actually?
To make a cheshbon, I'm pretty sure it's discussed in Siman Vav. You just got to do the math.
I got to do the math.
Yeah, it's probably close to 30 less.
30 less, yeah.
Around 20, yeah, it's definitely around 20, yeah.
Wait, just because of Shemona Esrei or what?
Yeah, Shemona Esrei you get hit on, that's for sure.
Oh, okay.
You figure 12 times 3 davenings is 36, but you get Musaf.
Yeah.
So that's by about 29.
Yeah. Leave it up to the accountant. They'll always get the exact numbers. Even though you could be off slightly. That's what they say with the debit.
I could be off slightly, yeah, you know.
You could. Okay, then he says, look earlier in Siman Reish Mem Beis. Someone, we're gonna learn about that siman next, but Bekitzer, it's being quoted over here. So someone who has Reva Chayva Kavides, someone who has what do you call it? They have the means should honor Shabbos properly. What is this over here? Okay. And that's basically the whole siman in a nutshell. Actually gonna have a whole so that's the whole thing. Yikavidis Shabbos Shaloi Sudos Vakasa the Harnets. Again, we're gonna learn about this. So we learned siman Reish Mem Beis, but Bekitzer, what this is saying is that minimally someone should have a casa de harsana. We're gonna learn about that. Maybe some fish. You have something. If you can't have that, have a little bit more to be Makayim Onik Shabbos properly. But you shouldn't knock on people's doors to have a more lavish Suda. We're gonna discuss that more. So that is the end of our journey of the with the Oz vehadar Mishna Berura. In terms of our journey there. Now, it was brought up last session about, and by the way, that whole idea with that Hachana Shabbos is an obligation on your body, similar to tefillin, eating matzah, sitting in a sukkah, you can't do with someone else. That itself is sarachi and more. I've been asking a lot of different people about what they think on that. Shulchan Aruch Rav, is there machlokes between the Shulchan Aruch Rav who says that idea versus the Aruch HaShulchan who says isho kegufo, which implies you don't need to do anything, which in and of itself is a chiddush, which we're going to learn more about. Furthermore, how does that work with the Shulchan Aruch Harav? That idea that it's an obligation on your body, when the Gemara in the second parak of Kiddushin brings as a proof from Rava, Rav Safra, that they themselves were involved with the preparations of Shabbos. And those are the sugyas of Shulchan Shalom Kimosa, and that you could appoint a messenger. So we see that someone else could in fact do it. Doesn't need to be you. So he apparently goes into it. That was a tricky question with maybe there's some aspect of a chavivus and the differences over there. But nonetheless, I didn't make official PDFs and everything, but this was discussed in last session about knives. We're talking about sharpening knives. We're going to be learning about that more. If you take a look, I was actually right on the siman. In siman Kuf Pei, I was right off the top of my head. It's recorded, so the proof is in the pudding. So if you take a look over here in siman Kuf Pei Sifei, no hagin lechasos hasakin b'shas birchas hamazon. The custom is to cover the knife during benching. Does this mean just the blade, also the handle? Let's assume the whole knife.
Does that mean you should is that why I know people getting switchblades? They get the blades that retract.
Like pocket knife?
Yeah, it's like a big pocket knife for challah.
I don't know if that helps.
It retracts, so you can't see the blade. Maybe
it does help. Okay, could very well be. So the custom is to cover it. Why? Doesn't say. The custom is not to cover it on Shabbos and Yantif. In other words, you don't need to worry about Shabbos and Yantif. Why? Doesn't say. So this is the source. Source of Zalach the Ber Hagol and Ozvav relates is a rokeach. And Avu Drum, Shiboli Haleket. Good?
Yeah.
Comes along the Membes. The base Yosef, Shnei Tamim. It says there's two reasons over here. Ha'echad, firstly, the Barzel Makatzer Yemei Ha'adam. Ve'ina din sheyamuna chala shulchun. Shadayim lemezbeach shemarich Yemei Ha'adam. Right? The knife, the blade from the knife, it decreases, it shortens a person's life by killing them. You kill someone with it. Does it make sense that it should be on a table which is similar to the Mizbeach, which lengthens a person's life? Dal King Siv, that's what the pasuk in Devarim says, Lo tanif aleham barzel. Dal King, Acher shagamar achiloso v'roitzu lavarich birchas hamazon mechasa sakin. And therefore, after a person completes his eating and he wants to bench, he should in fact cover his knife. V'tam she'eni, the second reason, b'shem Rabbeinu Simcha Lefi shepam echad hegia echad lebirchos b'nei Yerushalayim. One time, certain Yid, he reached the bracha of Bonei Yerushalayim in benching. V'nizkor churban habayis. He remembered, oi, we don't have a base of mikdash. V'tokos sakim bebit. No, he took the knife and he stabbed himself in his stomach. And therefore, the custom became to remove it during benching, lest someone get upset about the destruction of the base of mikdash and he'll stab himself.
Where's the Ma'aseh brought?
Beis Yosef. Quotes Rabbeinu Simcha. I have one question. What do we think about when we say the bracha b'nei Rachman Yerushalayim Amen?
Not about that.
Well, do we actually think about the Churban?
We shouldn't, it looks like.
Yerushalayim Yeruchel Barachamim Toshku Boine Yerushalayim. You have to think about this when we daven. Why then Shabbos and Yontif do you not need to worry about this? Dr. Mishna Berura, Hatam Shein Makpidim Al Zeh B'Shabbos Yontif, Ein Bachrein. Says, look around. Doesn't say what. What happens when you click on this thing? It opens up Masechet Shabbos. That is incredibly random and makes zero sense. Okay. That's really weird. But he says, look in the Achronim. Something's messed up with that. But anyways, that is what he says. That's the whole Mishna Berura over here. Let's look around a little. Look at those vehadar over here. Oh. What's going on here? They're not giving sifei? Oh, there. Okay, good. Beis Yosef Kotzev. They don't even comment on the Shulchan Aruch. Shnei Tamal Minhag Zeh the bars Makatim Yadim Keshin Oitzim Menu Kli Zayin Kli Lahargo. It's used as a weapon to kill someone. Chenem Din Sheyamun Chal Shulchan Shedom shouldn't be on the table. That's Dom to Mizbeach Shmarach Yadim Validation Mev Yilm Lav Korban Mechapim Lav Vanosov, because they would bring korbanos on the Mizbeach in order to atone for people's sins. Okay, and that's the pasuk of Tinam saying Barzel Dahainu Shas Lahainu Barzel Avnei Mizbeach Beis Bin Yoso. Can't like wave around this type of metal or something on the stones of the mizbeach, even when you're burning it. Tamu kevan shein lahanef as mekat yamer shemad mishu abarz kunis kolvel on the mizbeach marich hamrish shaladim kunis kolavichin shulchan marich hes chayadim mechap levos mishu. So the table, our table, also atones for us when we have guests over, and we have a good sudu, divrei Torah, mirrors. You could add in. So therefore, that's one reason. The second reason is because Godel Hatzar, the guy had so much pain when he reached this bracha of Bonei Yerushalayim that he actually stabbed himself. Therefore, the Minyan Yisrael removed it, like it's discussed in Masechet Shabbos Daf Samach, that it was prohibited to go out in a sandal hamesumar, which is a type of like special spiked shoe, because of one time many people were killed because basically they thought that the enemies were coming and they got all worried, and then they started running all over the place. They were stepping on each other with the shoe. So we see that you could enact something because of a story that happened in the past, just like the sandal hamasubur, which is explicit in the Gemara and Shabbos and Daf Samach. Also, by the way, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Daf and Shas that discusses the halachas of putting on your shoes the right way, which is interesting. And what's even more interesting is the Rishonim that they don't quote that. But anyways, that actually, if I'm not mistaken, the Beis Yosef addresses that question in Siman Beis. But anyways, or the Bach. But the point is that this is the some more background. Now you got a few footnotes over here. Okay, footnote Yud Beis says a table similar to Mizbeach, especially. You know what? Let me make this bigger. There we go. Might as well. So they said that Shulchan is similar to Mizbeach, especially when you're saying B'shas bracha she'oivdim la Hashem yisbarach, serving Hashem properly. Okay, a few sources for that. Okay, then why doesn't this apply on Shabbos and Yontif? So the answer is, according to the first reason, that you can't put it. Let's see it inside. Shabiru lefish nein tamam nizkel lefia tamarishon shashal niachsakan shulkan kibutam mizbeach shnemer balo tanif alam barzel. According to the first reason that the table is similar to the mizbeach, yesh lachalek mishum shezadavka shayach b'chol shemut ulivnos mizbeach. So that only applies during the week, because during the week the construction of the mizbeach would in fact be permissible. However, on Shabbos, also living also mizbeach, where there would be a prohibition to build a mizbeach, it wouldn't be doicha Shabbos, as the Gemara in Yevamos and Davav Amud Aleph states. So therefore, since there's an isser of binyan and mizbeach on Shabbos, im kin lo shayich bo isser. So you don't need to worry about this prohibition. That's what the Magen Avram says. The Birch Yosef writes, and he quotes his Zaidi, that Shabbos and Yontif are me'ein olam haba. In which case there wouldn't be death. Shabo yivlua hamavas lanetzach. Ve'ein shayich as kitzer chay olam. If someone's not going to die, so then you can't decrease a person's life because he's not dying. It's special on Shabbos. So that's one reason why it might not apply on Shabbos. Now, according to the second reason, with the whole story that happened, so according to the other reason, that because of the story that happened, that the guy stands himself, so in that situation will only be prohibited in a way that that event happened and unfolded, in a way what that fellow did. In other words, im kain lo nesar ela kain ma'aser shaya, sorry, v'kevan shem ma'aser shaya b'chol, in lo nesar ela b'chol, since that incident, that story occurred during the week, so therefore it would only be prohibited during the week to leave the knife on the table. Kamo sandal hamatzumah shenesar la'alicha b'Shabbos mishum ma'aser shaya shenergo al yado harbim in Yisrael. V'kevan shem ma'aser shaya b'Shabbos nesar rak b'Shabbos. Just like the story with the spiked shoes that occurred on Shabbos, therefore the spiked shoes are only going to be a problem on Shabbos. But this is the reverse way. You understand?
I thought the reasoning was with the second reason is because Shabbos is the day, I guess, of Simcha and its own, so you're not going to worry about, having that Avelis thought. I thought I saw that somewhere.
That could be. I mean, they're just quoting the Taz. That definitely makes sense. That adds up. Right? Every single reason isn't over here in the vehadar Mishna Berura.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I was kind of thinking that in the back of my head. So, let's just see if he adds anything on this topic. Okay. Magen Avraham Shulchan Aruch Rav only bring the first reason, which implies that that's the main reason, and therefore you only need to be careful if it's made out of barzel, the knife, which is like a type of metal.
Iron, right?
Iron. I don't think most of ours are. Oh no, the blades are. Hold on. Below, it's coming to exclude sokin shel zav. I haven't seen that often. Kesef, nechoishes, plastic. If it's made out of, if you have a gold knife, silver knife, copper knife, or plastic, you don't need to worry about a plastic knife. Also, it's enough if you cover it. You don't need to physically remove it from the table. It's enough if you cover it. Right? They're being medayik. It says lakasois. You want to cover it. However, according to the other reason, we should be stringent to remove all sorts of knives. Any kli that is made out of this like type of metal. But the custom is only to remove the knife because it's similar to a sword. However, since we have the other reason, we should be stringent, even with knives made out of other metal materials. And don't just cover it to actually remove it. In a pressing situation, you could rely on this reason and say you only need to remove what's within your reachable distance. This is only talking about benching, not during an ala michya. Even though in ala michya we say b'nei Yerushalayim, nevertheless, this is only during benching, not ala michya. Look over here, David, in footnote 19. The end over here. Lo dai b'lahav hasakin. Kipu halahav ba'oler. I think what that means is it's not enough just to cover the blade.
Yeah, take it off the table.
No, you got to cover the whole knife. Okipul halav ba'oler. I think no. What he's saying is, or you could fold it in the holder. I think that would be okay. What he's saying.
That's the switchblade.
Yep, switchblade. Yep, that's what it's called. Plastic knives You don't need to worry. You can't kill someone with a plastic knife. I wonder if they allow them on planes
Wow.
to bring one on. Probably.
Wat?
Ik kan me doen, lijkt me nog.
Ah,
Booze? They say footnote 24, the Aruch HaShulchan saves the day again with his leniencies. You could maybe be makel over here. No one's careful about this nowadays. The Mumkacher Rebbe says I never saw anyone who was careful about this.
About which one? About the plastic knives?
Yeah. A lot of times at a Rebbe's Suda, Shiles and Chuvas Veyan, David, it's hard to remove the big knives, whatever. I think even regular knives, they want to say. If it's out of your reach, only if it's in your reach. If it's out of your reach, then it's fine.
Oh, yeah, it's on, it's the other side of the table, it's okay.
Yeah, some say for Kabbalistic reasons you should shove it, you should cover it even on Shabbos and Yontif. But since for reasons based on Nigla, it's a zilzul, it's belittling Shabbos and Yontif. If you're gonna cover it, the custom became and developed that we are stringent not to cover it on Shabbos and Yontif. Like we just totally don't care on Shabbos and Yontif, which is most of the times when this would ever be relevant anyways, that we have nice knives on the table like this.
Not necessarily, well, yeah, what? If you have a knife on the table, anytime you have a. You got a knife on the table, anything?
with the book, also with the book, do it.
No, it's not.
It's
Komt das aus?
heel spät.
Komt toch? Schnell weg?
What?
Just talking Yiddish here. So they say over here very interesting in footnote 27 that during the week you cover it because it's the strength of Esav. But on Shabbos and Yontif, there's no satan and nothing will happen that's bad. And you could, if you cover it, you might be belittling the Kedusha of Shabbos. Okay, then they say that we already saw that. The Beis Yosef writes on this custom of Shabbos and Yontif, says, Minhag Yisrael Torah. Regarding not covering it. He says that's a legit minhag, not to cover it on Shabbos. You don't need to. Some say the Shulchan Aruch says you should leave it on the table, specifically uncovered. Archei Chaim V'Shalom says he was stringent. Someone who would remove the knife or cover it, tell them not to on Shabbos and Yontif. Okay, what about the bear hative quotes of Magen Avram B'Shem, the Shulchan Shalarbo says you should cover the bread during benching so it won't be embarrassed. Shari Tshuva B'Shem the Birchei Yosef argues on that. He says, what are you talking about? Similarly, the Kaf HaChaim says that that's not the custom. Rabbi Ephraim Greenblatt, the Shal Shuvas Rivos Ephraim, Eshel Avram, the Buchacher, say that if you're making a bracha on a coast, you should cover the bread because now you're going to make a bracha after benching on the coast of benching. And that bracha doesn't come before bread, but you're not really eating the bread, so I don't hear the shaila so much. So sarachian on that. Says maybe you would only cover full bread sarachian. But anyways, this is a story with the knife covering. All right, so Amir Hashem, tomorrow we're gonna continue with these halachas back in our siman, and we're gonna move along, wrap it up. I think all we have left is the Nishma Shabbos, if I'm not mistaken. So that's what we will do tomorrow, and then come closer to completing the siman. Amir Hashem.
All righty.
Everyone should have a wonderful day and night. And night.
And no.
Well, yeah, that's right. It's almost nighttime, man. Yep. All right. Take
Yeah,
care.
wait, is it dark yet? It's dark yet or no?
Well, it's Shkia now. Now it's the beginning of Shkia. It's not dark. It's getting dark.
Oh,
All right.
very nice.
Well,
What
All
neighborhood?
right. Have a good night. Have a good one.
Where are you in? Where are you in Yerushalayim? Are you in Yerushalayim?
Malo Daphna. Malo Daphna.
Very nice. All right. I don't know
right.
exactly. I don't know what it is, but
Well,
that's nice. All right, man.
What's up?